viewers and subscribers. We're here again on the coach's desk, and we have in studio with us Romain Burke, and of
Yeah.
course it is our weekly sports in review. But as you can see on his badge, we're gonna talk some football about Manchester United. But before we get into that, there were some great sporting happenings throughout the past week where sport is concerned. We're talking about cricket. West Indies won the first test against England by 4 wickets. Very good performance there by the skipper and Shannon Gabriel, who was named man of the match. So indeed, the West Indies kicked off things very, 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 very well. And we're talking also about track and field because some of our star athletes came out on the weekend in Jamaica. Yes, we have a low-key track meet in Jamaica up by Jamaica College Stadium there. And it was called the Velocity Track Meet. And we have the likes of Elaine Thompson, who did not run for over 9 months. She came out, put in a good, decent performance, even though she did not win that race. She was beaten by Sherika Jackson. But she felt good. She said it's the first time she is running as Elaine Thompson era, first time running as a wife. So indeed, it was a good look. And most importantly, these athletes, they competed and they ended injury-free. We have the likes of Tajay Gale, World Championship long jump winner. He came out, he broke the 8-meter mark. However, it was a wind-assisted jump there. So, decent performances there. But the big talk of the weekend was one Shelly and Fraser Pryce. Mommy Rocket, Pocket Rocket. She actually went on track representing Nike. For persons who don't know, she's now representing Nike, no longer with MVP. And she is now the world leader in the 100. She clocked 11 seconds flat in a wind of negative 2.2. So, she did put down some legs there. So, congrats to Mommy Rocket on her time. First time since winning that gold medal at the World Championship. She come out and she did well. It's an indicator of things to come. And of course, football. We're going to talk a little football. Some teams had some slip-ups over the weekend. And we would have thought that Manchester United would have actually capitalized on those slip-ups. We can just give you a rundown on some of the scores. Chelsea were beaten by Sheffield United 3-0. I watched that game, Romain, and I tell you, Sheffield played some excellent football. I was wondering if it was Sheffield playing that sort of football game. We had the likes of Liverpool. They dropped points there, would have ended their running for a points record-breaking points tally. They didn't reach that. We have Tottenham edging Arsenal 2-1 yesterday in that kickoff, late kickoff. Leicester City was mauled by Bournemouth. The Bournemouth thrashed Leicester City. And as true Manchester United fans, we say, yes, one foot in the top 3. But like I said to you earlier this morning, Romain, this Southampton team is not a team that we should take lightly. And I'm just gonna run down some things before I get you talking there. Martial scored, and for me, he should have scored a hat-trick. Rashford didn't do so decently today, had some good runs. United started out slowly. I think that the high-pressing game of Southampton really threw them off their game, and one of the goals came when Pogba actually split through. They actually got a pass through the Southampton defense there. midfield. So it was a matter of Southampton being very disciplined for the first 20 minutes of the game. United were slow out the blocks, so they had a lot of catch up to do. Southampton held their shape for most of the game. I was a bit tentative when I see the last 10 minutes of the game. We were kind of holding back. And I think we're depending on the creativeness of our counter-attack, because we have been playing some excellent counter-attacking football. And it is very good to watch with those front three linking up with Fernandes coming in on the edge there. Always good to watch. So United's second goal was one which they opened up the defense, as I said, and they got that goal there. The counter-attacking football is fluid, but they lapsed somewhere along the second half. They lapsed. Also, I want to make a comment on that tackle by Ramo on Greenwood, Mason Greenwood. I believe that it was a cardable offense, but it was checked by VAR, they say, but it wasn't communicated to the on-field referee. So that's basically why nothing was done about that tackle. So, Romain, very disappointed happenings for Manchester United today. Talk to us what transpired throughout this game.
Well, it feel like a loss, to be honest with you. But, we take the point and we move on. I think the biggest issue in the first 20 minutes, as you said, Manchester United weren't able to cope with the high press from Sheffield. And if you realize, I think what happened after the first 15 minutes was that they realized going down the middle wasn't going to work. Mm-hmm. So they had to change and start pushing the ball on the flanks. And that's where they started to play more. You start seeing a little bit more better football from Manchester United. If you realize the second goal came from we putting the ball on the flanks more. And so Southampton start drifting to the flank. The ball comes into the midfield with Pogba, and Pogba is empty. He plays it to Fernandes, who then puts it on the side to Martial, who just cuts right in and touches it in the top. So I think making that tactical change in the game was good for Manchester United, but we just never kicked on after that. Yeah. Martial got one early in the game, should have scored. The game would have been different from then. If you remember, this should have been 3-1 a long time ago. Rashford had an open goal. And missed it. I knew immediately after the injury, as I was telling you earlier, that immediately after the injury to Brandon Williams, you can see that, all right, we have to get into a defensive stature. And Southampton kept pushing and pushing. It was that period of the game where I was on the floor, bro, watching this game. I was like, yo, something's going to go down in this. I just never felt last 5 minutes, it just didn't feel good to me. And once that corner came across, I just kept looking at the screen, hoping VAR would do something for me. That's where I'm at right now. Hey, I was looking at the screen saying, VAR, do something for me.
Cut in there. I have my phone, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, my menu app is quicker than the game that is happening. And when phone gave me a signal, bro, I was so afraid to look at it. I tell you, because it was the corner. They were lining up for the corner, and I heard the notification kicking in, and I was
come true, yeah.
Oh my God!
Damn it, yeah, bro. It was a weird one, but I do like the fact that because of the results over the weekend, because of Chelsea losing, because of Leicester losing, we're tied for fourth, and we're 1 point behind Chelsea. Mm-hmm. Right? Chelsea has Norwich this week. Then they have Liverpool and someone else. I know Wolves. I think they have Wolves. Yeah, Leicester got 2 bad games coming up, and plus they still got to play us.
Yeah.
So we're still in command of what we need to get into the top 4. We've always been aiming for top 4, and that's always been the challenge, right? Yeah. This would have gotten us where we needed to be, but it was just one of them days. It was a perfect storm too. Everything was just set up perfectly for this to happen. Because exactly, Leicester got mauled yesterday by a side that couldn't even get into it can't get out of the relegation zone. Yeah. They got mauled. Like it was a lion on an antelope's ass type of game that what they played yesterday. And Chelsea was they just capitulated because Sheffield, with their defensive stature, Sheffield can defend to save their lives, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And so If you remember the game that we played against Chelsea in the first game of the season way back then, what happened was we were able to defend. Yeah, and they just died on the counter attack, and that's what happened because Chelsea doesn't have any legs in the midfield. Jorginho can't keep up with anyone, right? So that's where
they would have to go for a defender in the off. And back to the Sheffield story. I think they had a five midfielder that was kind of protecting the defense and keeping out Chelsea, and then their counter-attacking game was so quick. They don't move past Chelsea.
Yeah, you're talking about Zuma, right?
Yeah, Zuma.
From Chelsea. Yeah. I think what Chelsea's doing right now, to be honest with you, is something that a mistake that Manchester United made a couple of years ago when they're splashing the cash on all the big attacking players and not realizing that their biggest problem is their defense.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So now that Manchester United is catching up, because we used to remember when we got Falcao, Di Maria, bunch of attacking players, not fixing the defense. You know what I mean? So we're going out there and just the football was just never there. Chelsea needs a couple of defenders. Zuma is not going to cut it. Rudiger is rash. They have this dude from Germany called Rudiger. He's rash. He can give you a good game or he can mess up your game at any time. So, but Chelsea, they're trying to get Kai Havertz right now. This dude from Bayern Leverkusen, and he's nice. But I think that if they make some proper investments in the defensive side of it, then I can see them really doing some stuff next year. I do know from a Manchester United point of view, today was just one of those days where we got bit back, but then we just sat back. After we missed a couple chances that would have killed the game. Like another day would have been 4-1 at the end of the first half. But I think it's good that we're still in the fight. It's not like we're 3, 4, 5 points behind. We're right there tied for fourth because of goal difference. Now, come Thursday, we got West Ham, who's struggling down there. Is it West Ham? I think it is, because we're at 35 games now, right? So we got 3 more games left.
3 games to go. We have Leicester, West Ham, and I think
Leicester is the last game. I think West Ham is next. So yeah, all we have to do is just get our wins, and I'm pretty sure we can get past West Ham.
Definitely. And the thing is that we have to get into top 4, because I understand that City would have won that case there. So Champions League. So we have to get into the top 4.
Yeah. So Manchester City just the court of arbitration for sport just came down saying that they're overturning the ban by UEFA on Manchester City, so they're allowed back in the Champions League. The problem is, and we can talk about Manchester City all day, is that they, in my opinion and what I know of the situation, is that Manchester City cooked their books, and they've been cooking the books since day one, right? Yeah. Talking about money that they're getting in as opposed to money that they're spending out. The basic rules of FIFA fair play, of the fair play rule, is that you're not supposed to be spending more than you're taking in.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so they have this deal with the Etihad Airways, the thing that owns their stadium, that they're going to give them a certain amount of money every year. But Etihad is giving them money, but their profits are low. You're not making any money, but you're giving Manchester, your sponsor, so much money more than what you're making. So something's wrong, right?
Yeah.
And so the problem with the case that UEFA brought was that UEFA used outdated information from all the way back in 2010, 2011, right, to ban them now. In which case, they said the statute of limitations for those things are done. You can't use that. They don't have the current information because Manchester City says, I'm not going to give you our information. And that's why they got that $10 million charge, which is, I think it's completely wrong for me to be the governing body and you are telling me you're not going to give me the information to see if you're, so they could be cheating and they don't know. No one knows because I'm not going to give you my information and you're just going to stay like that. I think it's completely wrong. But UEFA itself is corrupt. And so them being corrupt, trying to get corruption out of a corrupt club, is just, teeth on teeth.
They probably be getting some dollars in their offshore accounts. And
yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. The teeth on teeth, God laugh. So.
All right, back to Manchester United. Looking forward, I still believe that we need at least 2 additions. I think we still need another midfield player and another attacking player. Why I say another midfield player? Matic is kind of going over the hill now in terms of his footballing lifespan. So you
Mm-hmm.
need somebody else. I like Fred's progress for this season or the latter part of this season because Pogba was out. He came to hand, so to speak.
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
still think that we have the likes of Scott McTominay, but we need another insurance where because if we're gonna play Champions League or we're vying to play Champions League and we make it to Champions League, we're gonna need players to cover the amount of games that we're gonna have to be playing. Because you have the FA Cup, you have the one Carling Cup, the Premier
yeah.
League. So we're going to be playing a lot of football. So we need a cover there. I think, though, also why I say we need someone up front because Marshall is good, but you have to give grace to times when you have players having an off game. Even though he was good today, he wasn't the clinical Marshall because if he was the clinical Marshall, he would have scored an hat-trick there. The one that we have there on loan.
Igalo, yes.
Igala, yeah. I think, yeah. Igala. I think they are considering purchasing him full-time. But
He's there until January, I know, for now.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
he's there until January next year.
if we could work on his game, or if we could get a next player, then it would be a good addition because Mason Greenwood is playing some good football. Very good football. Rashford is getting back into his own. Not one of the best that we have, but he's getting back into his own. Martial, once he's happy, he's going to play some very good football. So
yeah,
I think we have solved the problem, as you initially said about the defense. We have a very solid defense unit. And it brings me back to the days of Alex Ferguson, when our wing-back players were overlapping and once you see
constantly in the
going
opponent
up,
box. Yep.
you see Aaron going up, and then you have the insurance in Harry and Lindelof. So we're back, and I believe that we should be a prominent team for next season if all things are equal. What say you?
Yeah, you know what I think honestly is there's a few things that we need to tweak on this team. Right now you can see that we have 11. You can see it's like 5 games in a row that you see you have 11 that's really producing and playing some good football. However, we still need a right-sided striker because let's be honest, Greenwood is not a right-sided mid. Is not a right winger, I know.
Yeah,
While Greenwood is a talented 2-footed baller who can score from any angle. And then you put him on the right flank and him do him thing right there. But essentially, he will move into the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So once there's a lot of talk about Jadon Sancho, which would be perfect for this team.
Yeah.
If we get Jadon Sancho to come in, slot him on that right side, we do need another midfielder because, let's be honest, in order to win things and to win the Premier itself, we do need a squad. We can't have 11 guys playing. Exactly. Right now, the guys that we have to cover Bruno is Lingard or Pereira. That just can't work.
Nah.
Today we brought on McTominay and Fred. If we were chasing the game and needing another attacking midfielder, we wouldn't have that because it would have been Pereira. And Pereira has been underperforming economically all this year. So I think that in terms of positions that we need, yes, we need a midfielder. We need a midfielder of Thomas Partey. Something like Thomas Partey from Atletico Madrid, someone to be there to take over from Nemanja Matic when he leaves. We need a midfielder like Jack Grealish who can play slot in that number 10 behind that will come on for Bruno Fernandes, and still the status or the caliber of the game wouldn't fall as it would if Pereira came on. I do still think we need another defender though, because we do need another centre back. In my opinion, Lindelof and Maguire are too similar with regards to how they play. If you remember back in Fergie days when Vidic and Ferdinand was playing, you had Vidic who was the rough, rugged, can't get past me type of defender, and Ferdinand was that speed, calm, can move out of the defense with the ball. If you look at it now where we stand, both of these players are the ones that likely to dribble out of the defense with the ball.
Yeah.
Calm on the ball. So if we need a defender like a Koulibaly who will stand there and push him body on someone and say, "You're not getting past me."
Definitely.
If you remember the corner today, I don't even want to remember it, you know. But the corner, the man them score, Lindelof with the mark, the little youth, you know.
But he was out of position.
Yeah, because the goal side in front of him, right? But I mean, I don't know, maybe him they caught in playing him offside or playing him whatever I'm gonna try to. However, we in that position, in that place, we needed someone who would say, "Listen, you're not getting to my goal line." Put him body and push him away from him. And you know, that's the type of defender that we're missing. Is it a priority right now? No, because I think Eric Bay is kind of rash. He's not that type of defender. He's a risk-taking, rash defender. I think if we give him time, we have a youth named Alex Twensebe who can come in and take it over. He can develop into that type of player, but he's just constantly injured. But primarily right now, I think all we need is to get that right wing, get that midfield, and maybe a Jack Grealish in the team, and then we can start challenging some big major titles next year.
Definitely. I totally agree with you. But one thing though, in terms of Mason Greenwood, I believe that he can play more central rather than be on the wing. I think there was a little debate going on, a glimpse somewhere, I can't remember, where they are wondering if it is worth getting Sancho and selling Mason Greenwood. But I believe Sancho would be a very good addition.
People think like that are just small money people when they look forward. At the end of the day, if we say, okay, the five we have playing right now, Pogba, Bruno, Martial, Rashford, Greenwood, these five playing that are leading the attack line are great. However, think about it. Mason Greenwood is not really a winger. Mason Greenwood is a goal-scoring striker, right? Yeah. So Mason Greenwood would be the one that would come in and share that number 9 role with Martial, right? Well, getting people who are saying, "Hey, why do we need Sancho if we have Greenwood? Why did Man City need Bernardo Silva when they had David Silva?" Mm-hmm. Because they had a squad. You understand what I'm saying? You need a squad to win things. You need a squad for competition amongst places as well. If Jadon Sancho come in, then we know, okay, if we have in a day like, take for instance a day like this, right? And Jadon Sancho coming off the bench from Greenwood, right? The quality of the game.
Yeah.
The quality of the game. Say we didn't have McTominay coming on for Bruno, but we had Jack Grealish. Or instead of Fred, we had Van de Beek or Thomas Partey to hold up the midfield. Mm-hmm. So you build a squad. You build a squad to take on many games that you have to play. So people who think like that, just the small thinkers, because at the end of the day, Greenwood, as I said, is a striker, not a right winger.
You know, one thing though, I believe that the change that Ole made in terms of taking off his two creative players in Pogba and Fernandes, it would have been, in my opinion, one of the tough changes that you would have made in the last 10 minutes. Because he took off Pogba before, and I think about the 64th minute or 65th minute. And then he took off Fernandes in the 80th minute or the 81st minute. So that was like you were surrendering, or you're trying to cling on to your lead. With how Southampton was playing, I wouldn't make a change like that. You still would have to keep on one of my creative players in order to throw the ball through the middle for Martial or Rashford to chase and get something out of that. So I don't know. That's my opinion. I wouldn't take off my two creative players, because when I put on the likes of Fred and McTominay, who are similar type of players with defensive mind, then it will leave my defensive unit to be under pressure, because everything will always be coming at them. And for that last 10 minutes, that would be too harsh on them, trying to defend such a slender lead.
And so not to cut you off really, but I think the Pogba substitution was needed because he wasn't having such a great game. Mm-hmm. Pogba he was losing the ball in places that he shouldn't have. He lost twice in the same place in the first half. And aside from the pass that the little pass to Marshall in that first half that set up Rashford's goal, he really didn't do much in the game. It's just one of those days for Pogba. And I think making that substitution at that time wasn't that far. I think where Solskjaer went wrong was encouraging the team to sit back and watch Southampton come out. It's tempting to be leading 2-1, the team not playing well, so you say, all right, let's just defend this one out, call it a day and take the win. However, had we shown just a little bit more ambition to say, listen, we're going to take the ball, we're going to keep it, move forward and try to get the third goal, then, I don't think Southampton would have been, would have gotten
and that's why I said
the
Pogba, I agree with you on the Pogba chain. And that's why I said either one or two. One of the two, right? You should not take off both of them. Because you took off Pogba, he was having a very bad game. A bad day for Pogba, right?
Right.
But the creativeness or surrendering just to defend was too obvious when he took off Bruno Fernandes. You understand? So he should have kept him on. Let Southampton know that we're not backing now. We're not just settling for the slender lead there. We want to score another goal for an insurance. So I think that kind of let up where that change was concerned. But Bruno wasn't having the best of game either, but he was having a better game than Pogba. So
and Bruno has a lot of energy, so he'll put himself all over the pitch just to and having that energy on the pitch would have been helpful throughout. But honestly, it's one of those days where you can look back and say, hey, like that save from David De Gea was immense. You know what I mean? That's one of those things that you look back and you say, listen, if that save wasn't there, would have been in trouble leading forward to the rest of the game. So again, we had an opportunity today. I still think we're going to finish third because of the fixtures that's coming on for the other teams. And Leicester already gave up. They might feel like they have a little bit of breathing room now, but I'm pretty sure they already gave up. After that game yesterday, they already capitulated. So
it's gonna be
I'm just looking forward to the rest
for Rodgers to get them back motivated. It's gonna be difficult,
especially with Maddison not playing.
Yeah, man. So my friend, it's the end of our Sports Week in Review, and it was good to have you on to talk some football with us.
Yeah, man,
and
anytime.
Your expertise is always good to listen to. You know what I mean? So for the remainder of the season, we can talk for those last 3 games of the Manchester United game. As long as you're available, we're definitely going to link up and we're going to talk some football. Manchester United.
Man. Football. Definitely.
All right? So thanks again, my friend. Big up yourself. Viewers and subscribers, continue to tune into the Coach's Desk. And we'll see you next week in our Sports Week in Review.